there's anything you'd say or do or don't want recorded, just let us know later on and we can always pull it out of everything, but we want it so you guys have it all as a resource.
If you need one of those like little black squares over your eyes as well, we can manage that too.
Yeah, we can put stuff
We've got to be incognito.
Robot voice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, love that.
So we've got one more person who'll be joining us in person. They're coming in, they're just running a bit late because they decided to come in and it's Auckland and the traffic is never predictable, so that's their problem. We're going to jump straight into this and get into it. The first thing that we're going to do is introduce ourselves because you guys are going to be getting to know each other pretty closely, so it'd be good if you knew each other's names and what the hell you each do. So we might kick it off just so you know who's who in the room. I guess most of you know of us because otherwise why did you just give us money for this thing, because that's a bit weird. But my name's Stanley anyway, so I'm obviously the founder. My role in this is, one, I'm actually, as you know, this is a bit of a pilot thing for us because we have a lot of businesses who want this sort of help. So I'm kind of coordinator of this project as well to make sure it goes along for the first thing. My job in the business is product development and what we offer as a service, so I'm going to be really like hands-on with this the whole 12 weeks for this first cohort. And my job as in the strategy team is really about business. Like, what are the business outcomes? That's what I'm good at. I'm not good at making content. If you look at my TikToks versus all the other stuff that we do, I'm the business guy. So that's me.
Hi, I'm Nate. I'm the Director of Strategy. I've got about 27 years experience, mostly in advertising, but not arseholes advertising. I work for lots of little indie companies, so I learned a lot along the way. I lead the strategy team and then to a degree the creative side of it as well. And what I bring is all of that experience from all of those years into what we do, which is quite a rare thing for an agency in Auckland to have that firepower underneath a social media offering.
Hi, I'm Joni. Oh goodness. I'm also part of the strategy team. I'm the internal content creator for The Attention Seeker, and my strength when it comes to being here for your strategy is taking ideas and how you can then execute and what it looks like and manifests as in short form video.
Cool, awesome. I'm going to go in the order that you are on my screen, so I'll just call your names out. So we'll start with Roman.
Hey everyone, my name is Roman. I'm a contemporary artist, educator and developer. So I work at Wycliffe College. I am normally sort of known as the techie kind of guy in the art community, or I'm known as the artist in the tech community. And so yeah, so I typically will do things like make art, exhibitions, and do education stuff. I want to get involved here because my first time going to social media, I know it's kind of holding me back. I see it as a goal this year, and I can see that you guys know how to do it. So yeah, I'm just keen to show you some of the ideas that I've been thinking of doing, but I'm too scared to do at the moment. And then hopefully, yeah, that will be fun.
Cool, man. Awesome. Thank you. Next up, we've got Kylie.
Kia ora tātou, ko Kylie Nipia tōku ingoa. My name is Kylie Nipia. I'm really passionate about Te Ao Māori. And if I was to drop that down a little bit, I'm really passionate about whānau transformation through our people reconnecting to Te Ao Māori. And so that's whether that's developing their cultural capacity or developing strategies for language revitalisation. And in particular, one of our services, which are Wellness Wānanga, which, you know, if you ever to say to a Māori man 10 years ago that we have Māori men retreats now, they'd say, oh, you fucking poor. But they have been really rewarding and beautiful, and yeah, they're just going crazy at the moment. And so I'm the founder of Hawaii Kura. We are a cultural training agency which provides those type of services and advisory services to non-Māori organisations as well, which is kind of our corporate stuff, which I've been doing too much of the other stuff, and I'd really like to boost up in the other area. We have a little bit of a Facebook social media following, but we always get fatigued and then we fall off again, and so just trying to figure out how to sustain that and get more eyes on the awesome co-op that we do. Cheers.
Awesome. Cheers, Kylie. Next up, Tonga.
Okay, so my apologies for being late. I was doing the school run this morning. So I am the founder and designer at Nest Interiors and Design. So our design business, we design inside spaces. They could be inside spaces of homes, of maraes, of wellbeing centres, of the office. So we're quite broad. I started this business not really wanting to be a business owner, but more out of a need. I love what I do, and I'd love to learn how to share that in our marketing and in the business. And yeah, spatial design is not what you see on TV or on the pretty Instagrams. So yeah, being part of this, I just want to learn how I can share what we're good at doing in a different way, maybe.
Cool, awesome, thank you so much. Jennifer.
Hi, I am Jennifer. I own the Lee Smokehouse, which we smoke salmon and venison, meat and other things. And been in business for going on 6 years. I do most things. I've got 3 staff in the smokehouse now, so I'm doing kind of everything else. Trying to kind of hone in on our message and branding on social media, because at the moment I just kind of create and spew everything out there.
Cool, awesome. Well, we just had our late boys come in, so they'll introduce themselves shortly, but just so we know, they're not just some random dudes who just sat in on this call with us. There might be, who knows. But we'll keep going around and then we'll get to these guys. So next on my screen I've got Nick.
Hey team, my name's Nick. I'm head of sales for Vida, a really awesome tech startup headquartered out of Auckland, New Zealand. Vida, we build mobile applications for content creators. We've been in a very fortunate position where we actually build mobile applications for some of the biggest names in the industry at the moment, specifically in the health and fitness space. I work very closely with Dave, who's the co-founder of the business. Between the two of us, we don't have terribly much marketing experience, but something that we're really curious to lean into this year is obviously working with all of these great content creators that produce incredible content. We're not really good at it at all, so we want to really level up this year and actually get really good at that, and use it as a tool to showcase our solution and how we build apps and how we support content creators, monetize their business. So for us, it's also really about trying to understand how this can fit into a marketing strategy that Dave and I are wanting to build, and also how we can actually scale it and put it into our product as well. As a tech company, we're also wanting to leverage technology as best as possible. So that's again something which we're wanting to really also gain and understand from this program. But that's me. And the accent, I'm sure as you guys can hear, I'm a very proud South African. Been in New Zealand for just over a year. And yes, if you would like to talk rugby, I'm happy to remind everyone.
Have you ever met a South African who's not proud?
No, we're a pretty proud nation. We're a pretty proud nation.
I'm pretty sure this thing lets me kick people out of here. Actually.
Yeah.
I just do that right there.
It's still our best behaviour. At the moment. I've got to mind my P's and Q's, especially with Dave now, because I'm well, I've got to be well behaved.
Nah, all good. All right, Dave. You're next.
Cool, yeah, I think that's obviously, us, the company that out, so we've been growing for like 10 years, and getting to a place now where I think we're ready to ramp up marketing, which is cool, although we had to cut back and let go of our marketing guy, so it's me and Nick trying to figure it out. I'm a tech guy mainly, but yeah, I live down in Mount Wanganui. I've got 2 kids, and surprisingly I'm the biggest TikTok user at our company, so everybody cracks up at that, but I think it's awesome, and I just see so many people and companies and brands getting into vision, so I'm keen to see how we could tell some stories and how we do that.
Cool, awesome. All right, Now we got Rod. I won't make his son have to introduce himself, but he might want to. But anyway, Rod, if you want to introduce yourselves and what you do.
Hey guys, sorry we're late. My name's Rod McSwain. For the better part of the last 15 years I've fought professionally, mixed martial arts. Did pretty well locally in Australia and internationally, and then I've come home to set up a gym. So I run a gym, and we're currently based up in Richmond Road in Grey Lynn here, just around the corner from this place. Now in our gym we offer mixed martial arts, we offer boxing, combat sports, we try and offer everything. We offer a bit of strength, conditioning, and recently we've started running events twice a year, and these events consist of training our clients for about 15 to 20 weeks, and at the end of the 15 to 20 weeks, so we train them in boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu. End of 15 weeks they have the option to compete against each other. So and we do that in a really safe manner. We mitigate all the risks really well. We started running this event because in the past I've been a part of events that have brought me on as a coach, and I've got X gym versus Y gym, and they train them for 15 weeks, they compete, and it's everyone's first time, and about a third of the clients were knocked out or finished in their first fight, and that was too much. And you guys would have read in the news maybe 10 years ago, 2 cases of deaths just outside the ring, brain bleeds, or people not fully disclosing their medical history, and everyone blames everyone. Oh, it's the coach's fault. Oh, it's the promoter's fault. Oh, it's the doctor's fault. And it ended up being they started blaming the clients. They said, oh, they never disclosed their full medical history. How are we supposed to know that they were in a compromised situation? So everyone blamed everyone, and for the next 2 years, no one ran any boxing event or kickboxing event, just due to the risk. You know, everyone was, they're trying to cover themselves. That's the year I started running my event. Unfortunately, some guy died in Christchurch. I had already planned an event, and I followed through with it. People were asking me, Rod, this is ridiculous, aren't you gonna stop like everybody else? I was like, no, we do things differently here. These other big events, they were outsourcing the training, they were outsourcing the coaching. They were pretty much event companies employing gyms to train people and selling tables for 5 to 10 grand, cashing the check at the expense and the health of everyday people. So again, it was about a third people getting knocked out, and I took part in some of these events, and then I thought, man, I want to run my own, so I ran my own. I've run 7 events in the last 5 years. We've had no knockouts, no serious injury. Our clients who join, we get a few professional fighters to fight at the end, and obviously they either get knocked out or they get hurt, but that's the risk they take being professional fighters. They're not a part of our camp, and I've still take part in, because I got a lot of friends in the industry, so I go and see their events, and it's still about a third people getting hurt, and it just encourages me more to run my event better. The last event we ran, this is my son Ideation. I've included him to try and maybe jump on the TikTok or social media side, or just to try and move with the times. And he fought on the last one. He had a really good fight. A few of his mates fought, and it was a great event. We get about 500 people. We don't really promote it. It's quite local. It's quite boutique. It's nice, and I guess I'm here today to try and, I've got the product. I feel like it's scalable, so it's time to push the marketing side. And I think Attention Seeker, Stan, and the crew can really help with that. So
cool.
Yeah, that's me.
Awesome, thanks. You want to quickly say hello? Introduce yourself, who you are. You don't have to give the same big spiel your dad just gave, but just your name so everyone knows who you are.
Oh, yeah.
You can't see them every week.
Hey guys, my name's Ideation. I'm Rod's son. I don't have anything very interesting to me, but that's who I am. I'm Ideation. Nice to meet you guys.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Okay, so you all know each other now. You're all best friends. So we can all start to share. So what we're going to do today is, I've got a little slideshow, but I'm not really going to push it up because it's just going to be annoying. So I'll share it soon. My first question that I've got though, to sort out with everyone is, when do we want this, right? So I can't tell, but where is everyone? Is anyone not in New Zealand? No, we're all New Zealand, right? Yeah, okay, cool. So we're all on the same time zone. So when we first did this, we had about half a dozen people from the North America who wanted to jump on this, but then it didn't work out for some of them. They want to do it next time or whatever. So that's why we actually put it in this 8 to 10 slot on a Friday, because it made sense. Because any later, it was like 8 o'clock at night for them. So does this work for everyone, or is there like a 9 o'clock's a better start, or the 8 o'clock's a good start? Is this, Jennifer's shaking her head furiously, she wants to keep it here. Is anyone like really opposed to this time slot? No? Okay.
Stanley, the only ask for me is if we could just get the times booked in ahead of time, because 80% of our customers are in the US, so normally the mornings are quite. So I'm going to jump off at 9 o'clock for a quick 30-minute call with a customer to then jump back on. So if I can know all of the dates and get them booked in at time, then that's fine, so I can just manage my diary.
Cool. Well, what we're thinking is, next week we were thinking of trialing just 1 week. We also had some stuff already booked, but we're going to do 9 to 11 next week, and then if you guys are okay with it, we're going to go back to 8 till 10 for the remainder of it. Just because it's like, I think it's actually quite easy in the morning if you're done by 10 and then get your day started. So if everyone's okay with that, we might just stick with that. So next week will be 9 to 11, just because we had something already planned and booked for that week before we started this, and then from then on it'll be 8 till 10. So I'll get all the calendar invites out. If for any reason you can't make a session, that's okay, because we're going to record everything anyway. And if you can only make an hour of a session, or you come late as we move forward, that's completely fine, because we're going to be doing this as a group anyway. So it's not all you for the whole 2 hours anyway. A lot of actually what you're going to end up doing throughout this series is you're going to learn from everyone else. And this is what we think is going to be the most important part of this, because people, like, when we're in a room together as a strategy team, it's the diversity in the room that actually gets us to where we need to go. You're hearing all this other stuff that people are saying, and it makes you go, oh shit, I would never think that thing, because my brain doesn't work that way, or I haven't had those experiences in life. Which is why it's like, we're a good 3 crew to do it with, because, I mean, we're not at all the same, at all the 3 of us, me, Nate and Janie, different generations, different backgrounds, grew up in different places, different ethnicities. So that same environment's going to happen in here. So a lot of what you're going to do isn't going to be so focused on you, but I want you to really listen to what everyone else has to say, because it's going to spark things for you to go, oh shit, really? I didn't even think that was possible, or an idea, okay? So that then lends into, if you can't quite make it, just turn up and watch it back later on. We're going to record everything, so you'll have, there'll be a library for this for everyone, so you can go back and grab all the video footage that you need. Cool? All right. Any questions about that, or logistics of the program and what we're going to do for the next 12 weeks? I mean, well, you don't know what we're going to do, because we're going to get into that, but the logistics of it. Anyone, any concerns? No? Cool. Sweet. All right. We're going to go around the same order again, and this time it's going to take a little bit of time. This is probably going to take about half an hour, and what I really want to do is go through goals. All right. So, we might push back on you, myself, Nate and Joni might push back on some of what you say over this next sort of 30-40 minutes, because we want real good goals out of this. We want to know exactly what success looks like at the end of this 12 weeks for you, and that can be as far as follow account, metrics of viewership. It could just be I've got a brand position that I can tell the world what I do properly. I have my friends are coming up to telling me that my social media is great. It could be I need this much more sales, whatever it might be. Your goals are your goals. And once we go through the whole thing and hear everyone's goals, if someone at the start, so Roman, because you're going first, and then we get to the end of it and you're like, oh, I want that goal too, then pipe up at the end, and we can, if anyone's got anything else they want to add, let's add it in, because we want to have a full collection of goals so that we can make sure you get them, right? So we can make sure you hit them. Like our goal for this 12 weeks is that you hit your goals, because this is a pilot, and if it goes well, this is a service we'll continue to run. And if you haven't already figured out, you're our first 6 case studies. So that's what we're trying to achieve. Okay, sound good? So I'm going to start with you, Ronan. Go away, tell us what your goals are, and we'll and just work through it a bit, and we'll help you get to where it is.
Yeah, to kind of slightly write them down. Make art and make money would be good. So I have a job. It does support my work in a way, because I have a research day, one day where I can muck around and do anything I want. It would be great to think about it as increasing visibility and exposure, and within that, cultivating a collector base that's a bit more diverse. I've sort of worked into like some known collectors, but it's a very tricky gatekeeping process. And to be honest, I think it can, I think that it could be better if it's more diverse and maybe a bit more accessible. So those are kind of approximate goals, but in terms of social media, just being able to do it, like put things out there without worrying about the different hats and things. Like I think knowing who I am on maybe each platform, that would probably be a killer outcome for me.
Cool. Nice. Can you tell me what you mean by increasing visibility? Like, what does that mean for you?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess, so I haven't tried to increase followers or anything like that, but I think that's that would be a good thing to do. On one platform, I'm not sure what is the right one. Could be TikTok. I quite like the short form content, but yeah, like I think yeah, I don't know. Just more exposure of my position and work in the. So I think my broad idea is something that maybe highly gets. It's just Māori art includes international contemporary art, not the other way around. Like, it's pretty cool right now that, say, some of my colleagues like Mata Aho Collective, they just won a Golden Lion at the Venice Biennale, which is pretty amazing. But I think that getting my work into a bigger sort of context would be good. I've also shown you before, but it was like a small research pavilion, the big show. Yeah. But yeah, increased visibility, having a kind of a presence that feels like legit for me and for the audience would be awesome.
Cool. Can I just want to, I'm going to sound real dumb here. I just want to get real clear on what it is that you're offering the world. Are you trying to promote your own art, or is there more to that? Where am I missing here?
Yeah. Well, I'm part of a movement.
Yeah.
Like Māori artists, and typically what happens is we could get essentialized. We could get turned into like a sort of an exotic category. And so one way to resist that is to really pull from a diversity of places. So yeah, there's lots of artists I think who are like me, who are in this kind of category at the moment. And I think it's very, very challenging for that to live in New Zealand at the moment, because of the way that it gets expressed in the institutions.
Cool.
Because they've got an agenda, they want it to look cool, but weirdly in doing that, that they kind of make it look more colonial from my view. Cool. They make it look predictably Māori as per the white curator impressions previously. So yeah, I think that it's not just me that would come through the door in that,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's it.
Cool. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I get it now. Cool. Perfect. Any other questions for me? No.
Well, other than where are you? So you're pretty much ground zero, right? Currently.
On social?
Yeah, with your socials, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to recap just to make sure I'm clear. You've got your own art, but actually, more importantly, you're going to create a platform that allows for Māori art to stand up on its own and be treated as its own art form rather than just some exotic art form that's like in a subnote of a textbook.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. So that's the platform. Cool. Got it. Awesome. And how does that make you money?
Well, I mean,
Selling the art.
selling the art, yeah.
Cool.
Or having show, like getting exhibitions and
Exhibitions
like,
and stuff.
you know, I have an exhibition in Wellington this month. Yeah, those typically, you do an exhibition and then you sell something.
Yeah, cool. Makes total sense. Yeah. Any other questions? Does anyone else have any questions for Roman? Anything that you want to ask? Because this is a group thing, so it's not just us talking one-on-one with each other. So is anyone have any questions for Roman that you want to ask or you hear that you might know or see? No? Don't have to? Yeah, cool. Well, I'm going to move on to Kylie. If you've got something later on and you want to put it, you can always chuck things in the chat as well. If you just don't want to interrupt people, put it in the chat and we can come back to it later if you've got some things as people are talking. So next up, Kylie, we'll hit to you, mate. What's your goals? Why are you here? What are you trying to do?
Choice. Okay, so I just wrote down a couple of things. So at the top of my list, it's around tweaking my personal brand. And just being able to double down on what that actually is. And only because even now when people see us popping up everywhere and they're like, oh, so fuck, what is it that you actually do? Because we do so much in this space. And then, yeah, so tweak my personal brand to become an authority in this space, which I know I am, but I just need more visibility online. And also to tweak the brand of Hawaii Kura, which is the name of our company. And we have what we call the Hawaii Nations, which is like our crazy, we don't call them staff, the people that work for us. And so you've got myself, my daughters, and a few other crew members that pop in and out. Grow our accounts. So I think our TikTok is maybe 25K. It's been around that position for quite a while now, and it hasn't really gone that far. And in fact, I think it was just around COVID is probably when we first jumped on, and there weren't many Māori creators in the space then, and we got some real good traction real fast. But then I put my phone away, and I should have doubled down then. We've had one viral video that got about 4 million. There's not much thought that's put into our scripting or anything like that. All I'm doing really is documenting. And so when we're in a space of a wānanga, so our wānanga or our workshops will do one for youth, one specifically for men, and then one for women. And I just go around and document it. And I also want a strategy around that. It's like, how do we share that load? Because I'm like tutoring and the next minute I've got my phone out, and which can be a bit of a pain sometimes. More exposure for our kaupapa, so more exposure for the work that we do. We do get, we're finding it more and more when we're going to places, people say, oh, we've seen you on TikTok and we love your work, and so we just want to amplify that really. And then to come up with a strategy, it's real ad hoc at the moment. And like I said, there's no real design there. And I'd like to come up with some different shows for the Hawaii Kura crew and the lifestyle that we lead and the relationship between me and my daughters, and just the craziness within our family as well. More opportunities and expand our reach.
Questions for Carly?
Where are you? So you're not bad. You're not sitting bad. You've got a kind of and some numbers.
What was that, sorry, bro?
You're not sitting in a bad spot. You've got a degree of stuff out there.
Yeah, I think we just got we plateaued.
Yeah.
And we don't know, like it's random, like the one that got 4 million was just like this little short clip of my son doing the haka with a big fella standing behind him, and like there was absolutely no thought and there's no reason at the moment of what pops off and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And are you just what platforms are you sitting on at the moment?
So I pretty much just cut and paste and chuck it on everywhere. And so I will put it on TikTok, Instagram, and then Facebook. And what I'm finding too is that sometimes the same reel will pop up on different platforms differently.
Yeah.
And I'm really wanting to double down on my LinkedIn presence. Like I know that if wanting to expand, and because if I look at our wānanga and that we run, a lot of our participants that come on it can't afford to come on them. Therefore, we always are having to look for different partners and funders and all that kind of stuff. And so B2B, and I think that's so. Our end product people or our participants are more on Instagram and TikTok, but the people that I need to be having the conversations with to partner with are probably more on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Carly, if you think about like your followership and your viewership and stuff, like what after 12 weeks of this, what would just even as arbitrary number, what would you think would be a good result on the change of that? Let's just call it TikTok because that's your biggest one.
Yeah, if I could get to 50k, or even if if I was to be really big and try to hit 100, then that would be me.
Yeah, and do you think that actually maybe your biggest hurdle at the moment is less about, is more about just figuring out a system to make content? Yeah.
It's more around the strategy. Like if I was to compare, like your guys in office antics and stuff like that, that's happening on ours, but I'm not scripting, or we're not pre-planning the reality show, if you like. I'm just documenting parts, and then when I say to my family, oh, hey, we should kind of, we didn't capture that, we should redo that, and they're like, oh, no, dumb. I need to, what if my girls go, oh, no, fake pups.
Yeah.
So and because similar to between you and Joni, like the relationship that we have, like we've got a real beautiful nurturing relationship when we're on the floor, but then there's like the craziness of like the Napier family, and so it's not even around our business per se, it's just the lifestyle that we lead as proud kaupapa Māori people, and we want to be able to showcase this, because when we work with different rangatahi, or when they see us online, they just it's the thing that they really vibe with is how we roll as a family.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. Any questions?
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, easy. All right, Tonga, you're next.
So we've got a few things. At the moment, our industry kind of sits in the construction industry, so we design stuff and it gets built. And at the moment, the construction industry is a little bit volatile because of the current economic vibe in New Zealand. We're based in the Waikato, and lots of architectural companies have let people go and things like that. And so there's a real opportunity for us to capture some of that market that's kind of a little bit wobbly. I'm really keen to build some brand awareness. I feel like we have a really good, strong identity, but I'm not very good at communicating that or like sharing that regularly and kind of building some sort of strategy behind it. So I really want to get some good brand awareness out in particular in the Waikato and then kind of spreading throughout New Zealand, and having a good social media presence. But again, I just don't know what to share, what to talk about, and we have this saying in our, so I have a couple of designers that work for me, so we always have this saying in the studios that we create the trend, we don't follow it. And so when clients give us pictures of what they want us to design, for us that's like the worst thing that can happen, because they're paying us good money to create something unique and valuable for them. So it's just trying to learn how do we share who we are, because we know that we're unique and we know that the service that we deliver is specific. But I guess it's almost going against the typical trend of what interior designers are putting out in social media at the moment, like the whole aesthetically pleasing thing, and that's just not who we are and what we do. Like we design like commercial buildings, so for us we have to try and design something that gets a return on that client's investment. So it's not just about pretty white walls and things that look aesthetically pleasing. There's a lot more thinking and strategy behind that design idea. So yeah, it's just we're a little bit quirky, a little bit different, and it's just trying to figure out how do we share our uniqueness to the market that ultimately brings us some leads for more business.
When you, just for my benefit to make sure I'm right, when you talk about like interior design from a commercial perspective, can you give some examples of like some of the jobs that you do and things, and like the specific piece that you and your team play?
Yeah, so currently I am designing and project managing some fit outs for a health and wellbeing company and a mental health company. So as a designer, you have to understand the people and the guests who are needing mental health support, and you have to design a space that's safe for them to be in. Like they're not going to harm themselves. You have to design a space that's going to help them recover. So sometimes those spaces, they can't look like a hospital, they have to look like a home environment. So that's quite an in-depth, very niche ability and skill. And then sometimes we'll get a client who has just leased a building and they want to move their whole business in there. And, we have to design an office fit out that is going to service 120 staff out of that building. And how do we create, get their staff into the office to use a space that they're paying $100K a year on, and trying to create value out of the investment that they are putting into those spaces. And then some of the other commercial, we design like Mirai, completely different client, different kind of cultural awareness that's required there. And then like we did a stint where we designed a whole bunch of churches and project managed. So that's commercial, is just varying, and so it requires a really good skill to know how to work closely with people and understand people so that you can design specifically for their needs.
Cool. And
what you see on social media, the interior design is really fluffy and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
When you mentioned that you have a strong identity, what does that mean?
We kind of like, when a client comes to us and they're like, oh yeah, we've got this $2 million build, and we're really honest with them and say, we don't copy and paste, so please don't expect us to design something that you've seen on TV, or they might have pictures of some building company, or they've designed something, because from our perspective, we're the creatives, and so it's our job to create something new for a client every time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard when they want us to do something that they've seen on the block. We're just like, no, we don't do that. Like, why would you pay us good money for us to copy someone else's work? So we're quite just real honest in that instance. And then there are some trends which are okay, but I think as creative people, we should be creating the trend and we don't follow it. And I don't want to charge people money for me to copy what I see that's trendy. And I think a lot of the solutions we deliver, the people come to us because they've got bad spaces. Their homes don't work. You know, their staff can't function well or deliver well. So the problem is the space doesn't work for them, and our job is to solve that space problem by rearranging the flow, rearranging the space for them to get the value out of that investment.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just think that what we do is fluffing cushions and, you know, that we like walk around in full face makeup and like have our designer handbags and we just walk on body folded. That's not what it is, you know. We kind of have to have a really good understanding about construction so that we can design something that you can build in real life. So yeah, it's noisy out there. And
Yeah.
how do we how can we just be us? Because people have these assumptions about interior designers.
Yeah. Who are your direct customers that you're trying to talk to? Who are these leads? Where are these leads going to come from?
At the moment, the people that pay for our service are business owners, investors, so people who are buying land and building homes on them and selling them. So investors, we get a lot of not-for-profit organisations, and that particularly comes from kind of like the health and wellbeing clients and some of the community clients. And then in our residential market, we are trying to target the mid to high end because again, they've got the money, they can afford our service, but we feel like we can deliver a really good outcome for them. In terms of group builders, which is like spec houses, we don't even go there because they don't even want to pay us for what we can deliver. So yeah.
Cool. And when you say brand awareness for you, what does that look like? Like, what would it, like, you don't have to give me numbers if you don't know, but like, what would it feel like to have the brand awareness you want to achieve? Like, what are you hearing from people?
We've always had in our social media, I would call them fans. So they follow us and they engage, but they will never be our client. And that's okay, but we want them to tell all their friends about it, and their friends might be our clients. So I feel like the brand awareness might help us create some credibility in the market.
Cool. So it's like if you have enough brand awareness or enough people seeing you, it's less about the fact that your leads might come directly from that, but once people are talking about you to people they know, when those people do their due diligence and look you up, they're like, oh, these guys are legit, they've got their stuff, they know all their shit.
Yeah, because we have all the technical stuff, like a pre-qualification and insurance and stuff. So we could tender for a big project, which is, I mean, I guess it's just having that presence in the market, and if we ever get questioned on all of that stuff, it's like we've got all our lines dotted and we've got all the qualifications, the health and safety certificates and all that stuff behind us. So it's just kind of, I guess it would be nice for people to see interior design the way we see it, and not just the pretty fluffy cushions and like pretty furniture. We don't do much of it at all.
So how do we know, like in 12 weeks time, how do we know we've been successful from this? Like how do I make sure that we get something that allows that to happen? What does that look like for you? To make people think that way?
I think me having a bit more confidence post on LinkedIn, because I have no idea how to deal with LinkedIn. But I think having a good presence in LinkedIn would be a good measure. I think perhaps some growth on our social media accounts and like the engagement on those social media accounts.
Cool. Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Tana. All right, Jennifer.
I would like to kind of nail down the branding for the smokehouse, where it's like a premium product, and I don't know necessarily how to market it as that premium product kind of thing. So I'd like to kind of nail that down a little bit more. And get exposure for the business as well. So I need to figure out, well, we're getting into retailers, so I want to bring in more retailers. So I want to kind of market to them, but then at the same time, I need to market to the customer who's going to go in and see our product and buy that as well. So I want to know if I do the same kind of thing for everybody, or if I have to be doing like 2 different types of branding for those different people. Just kind of nailing that down, and then figuring out like what to put on each platform, because I just, I make my video and then I post it to TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, and then it goes over to Pinterest, and just kind of nailing down what I should be doing where, and getting over to LinkedIn as well. I'd really love to kind of become that industry person on LinkedIn, but I look at LinkedIn and I'm like, I don't even know, because it's just so intimidating. It's so much different than TikTok, right? You can just throw whatever shit you want up on TikTok and it's fun, and then, I don't know, LinkedIn to me is just kind of stuffy and I don't want to do it, but I want to do it.
Love it.
Yeah, so basically just nailing down that brand. I always say to people, like, because our product is premium, I want to be Gucci, but I don't know, like, how to be Gucci kind of thing.
Love that.
Yeah.
We can make you Gucci.
Yeah, we can make you Gucci.
We can make you so Gucci. So Gucci.
I feel very Walmart most of the time.
Don't we all?
I love it. From a brand presence at the moment, like, where are you sitting? Like, how is any of the socials doing quite well with all that video content that's going out? Things, is any of you that you're quite proud of?
They're all a bit they're all a little bit different. We're doing good on Instagram, which is a bit weird for what I thought we would be doing. I've got a couple hundred followers on each place, so I'd like to increase that. But I get a lot of comments back. I'll do a recipe kind of thing and just wing it together, and then I cut out all the weird kind of funny bits and facial expressions and put that into kind of like a bloopers reel. And I get a lot of feedback on that. People see it, and if I see them out and about, they're like, oh my god, I love this one, it was great, we look forward to that one every day. And then I feel like the recipe part, because we get a lot of people ask, well, what do I do with it? What do I do with cold smoked salmon? What do I do with smoked roasted duck? So then that's kind of me educating people on how to do that. So some of those do really well, like with my face in it. Otherwise, if I just do kind of like a basic platter with just showing what I'm putting on the platter, those kind of do good. And then at the same time, we do behind the scenes of us just slicing the salmon. And those do really well sometimes as well, but with kind of like a different viewership. So those ones maybe are more kind of out of country, which doesn't necessarily matter.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's all good. That's good. Oh, you're looking at it.
I'm having a look at your We Smoke House Instagram, and it is all over the place, and certainly not premium at the moment.
Oh, I know, yeah.
No, but it's good. It's
And
good. It's good to recognise it. And, yeah.
Yeah, I had a marketing company that was helping me, but they weren't quite doing what I wanted. So then I stopped working with them, and then that's when I started just doing all these videos, and so I'm doing it all on my own, and just nail all that down.
Yeah, it sounds like you need to just go like back to square one and go, actually, what does the brand stand for, and then what's the proposition of the brand? How do we talk? Like, what's our tone of voice? All of that stuff to get you to a point where then when you do start posting, you're really clear on what the objective of each post is, and is it the right language, etc., etc. So it starts to be more cohesive. Yeah.
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 Cool. All right. Any other questions? I think that was pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
That was good. Awesome. Thanks, Jennifer. Appreciate it. Nick, Dave, I don't know how you want to do this, but you guys can tell us what your guys' goals are, and you might have some individual goals as well. But yeah, let us know. What do we got?
I'm gonna throw Dave under the bus.
Fair.
Cool, sounds good. Yeah, I think for us, probably the biggest thing I think is one is like a way of producing content, like you kind of mentioned, I think it was Kylie, around just like a process.
Yeah.
For us, we have some challenges, I guess, like when we don't really have a face, and so we don't really know like, do we need to hire somebody to be the face, or like how we're going to do that? So we need to figure that out, and then hopefully they'll know how to produce content, or like how do we produce content and get it out. And then some good ideas for streams of content and things we can say. Again, I think like we don't have salmon or behind the scenes or like cool camps and things. We're like a remote tech company, so we mostly just sit at our computers and code. So the stuff that has worked has been like customers, like we do a couple of customer testimonials with customers talking about us. So maybe it's just coming up with streams of things like that we could try, like maybe some customer interviews but cut down into snippets. Maybe some like how to use the product and some cool stuff that we've got coming out. Maybe some behind the scenes. We do have some good banter and stuff, but I don't know how you could actually like share that.
I think, Sandy, going back to your point, to answer like what are the goals? We want to make money from our marketing. Like we're in the business of generating revenue. We've got a great product. We'd like to sell that effectively through our marketing channels. So I think that's a critical goal that we definitely want to achieve. I think in terms of some quick wins, we need to get on TikTok. We don't even know how to get on TikTok. So something as basic as that. And I think really just speaking to Dave's point around the fact that we think that we're a really cool tech company, but to try and make tech accessible to content creators is not an easy. It's not easy, or we don't know how to do that. So hopefully we can learn how to do that to actually make it really easy and attractive in terms of the solution that we have for content creators and how to make it accessible. The content creators that we work with, it is B2B, but they also behave like a consumer. So we have this really interesting dynamic that it's B2B to C. So that's also one of the challenges that we face in just trying to understand that.
On that audience, is it literally just individual creators that your target is, or is there anyone outside of that group?
So there are there are businesses as well, but in terms of the niche that we're doing really well at the moment is specifically individual content creators. The big content creators actually have a company behind them, so they'll have a team that's also managing the work. But certainly starting out, it's typically someone in front of the camera and then a partner who's behind the camera doing that work.
Yeah.
Nick, I know you got to run off. It's in 2 minutes, but Dave, one of you've got 30 seconds. Can you convince Joni on why she should use your product? She's a big creator. Why should she use your product? Just so we all hear the spiel. Give us a spiel.
Guys, I'm going to step off. I'm going to be...
Oh, there we go. The bus just came, Dave.
The bus is honking. Your bus is honking.
as well.
See you soon, Nick. See you, mate.
Good dodge.
That sounds good to me. So we focus on creators who are experts and sell their knowledge, basically.
Cool.
So yeah, I don't know, the platforms like Kajabi, Uscreen, Vimeo, they focus on creating websites where people sell video content, and we have focused on apps. So we actually plug into a lot of those websites. So a lot of people start with a website on Kajabi or something, and they build it up, and once they get big enough, they really want a good app, and our app plugs into those websites. Yeah, so it's apps that online creators who sell digital courses and video.
Cool. Makes sense. Got it. Perfect. What does it look like then to be successful? So you've got a content system and a production process, but if you get that sorted, how do we get it sounded like a bit before, between you and then Nick, it was like the sock thing, get socks. Step 1, get socks.
Yeah.
Step 2, step 3, profit. What's the step 2? What's the bit in the middle that's viewership? Who are we going after? How big do we need this to be to find these sorts of people? What do you think is a good metric over this next 12 weeks if you could hit that by getting the system in place?
Yeah, we don't. We only have 120 clients in the US because so we in terms of numbers, we don't need that many. I guess it depends if we're trying to get just creators as our audience or anybody. But I think having a system and having a couple of streams, so low levels of numbers, on all our other Facebook pages, for example, we have a couple of thousand followers, but no engagement, nothing. So if we just had a low, even a few thousand followers and some engagement, that would be awesome.
Okay, cool, low bar, got it. Gonna fucking nail this one.
We'll just get our mates to follow you, it's easy.
Yeah, just get our mates on, comment.
I'm the brutally honest one. Your website doesn't really tell me what you do. I have no idea what you do.
Yeah, that's good. All right, maybe we should redo the website first.
I don't think the website needs to be rebuilt, but the messaging is just really unclear. I would not have a clue what you did. And I think it's a really common thing. The business owners are so close to their business, they think it's awesome, and they just assume that everyone A thinks it's awesome and B knows what you do. And it's just it's so classic that people just forget that people they don't care, and when they come here they're like, what the fuck, what do you do? Because you're not there telling them.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really, for me, really clear thing that you probably need to again go back and go, what are we? What do we stand for? What's our mission? Why would anyone be interested in talking to us, etc., etc. Because that'll then inform all of that stuff, not just your posts on social, but actually how you communicate with the world and how you do what the messaging hierarchy is on your website. Because it's just really unclear. Particularly if you're going for creators, it's just really not.
Agreed.
I just had no idea.
Yeah. Cool. There we go. There's a.
It doesn't make you a bad person.
Hard truth.
None of you are bad people as a result of this. But I think for me, it's always a really good place to start, which is no one gives a shit about my product. Because everyone thinks that everyone loves it. Everyone thinks, oh, my product's awesome, everyone loves it. But if you start at no one gives a shit, then you're better off than starting at pretending that people love it. Yeah. So I think that's where you have to always wind back to. And not many people will tell you that, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
And to make everyone feel better about that is we're going through that ourselves at the moment. Because we've changed so much as a business over the last 18 to 24 months that right now our big rock for this 3 months as an internal brand team is to reposition ourselves and to be able to communicate to the world what we do, because we offer so much more now and our breadth of talent has got really wide. And so our websites, I made it on a Sunday afternoon. It's a lot of people are like, oh, your website's so good. I'm like,
no, it's not.
No, it's not. It's terrible. I just got some funny photos of us and a video, so you think it's cool, but actually it doesn't tell you fuck all what we do.
Yeah.
And so it's quite normal for business owners to do that, because we know it so well, but no one else does. Actually, we're solving a problem now that people don't even realize.
And the irony of this is that actually, as us, it's so much harder to do for us than it is for our clients. So for you as individuals who've got we've got tons of experience doing this, and we struggle. So for people who haven't got any experience, it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Even just even thinking about it, you just go shut down, don't know, go away. I'm going to go do this thing.
Yeah. 100%.
So yeah, it's really understandable and really normal to be in that position.
Cool. All right, Rod, Goals.
Okay, so we set a goal last year to get 50 members at our gym, and we achieved it, so that's cool. So, got a bit distracted beginning of this year, and the goal for the end of this year is probably jump up to 75, by the end of this year, 75 members, and this time next year, 100 members.
Cool.
And obviously that just turns into revenue and helps me add more coaching. I can take a foot off coaching and do a bit more planning and stuff like that.
Yep.
The way to that would be our website's not too bad, Hybrid Training Systems New Zealand. It's pretty good. My mate built it. Our social media is horrible, and I'm embarrassed. You're gonna have a look.
So what's the name of this site?
Hybrid Training Systems New Zealand. Our social media presence is quite horrible at the moment. I've hardly put anything into it. Started doing a few reels beginning of the year, and they're not too bad, but yeah, they can a lot of work. My wife, she's a bit of a creator, and she's let me take care of it. Let me take it over. So definitely gonna try and take her up on a little bit of that with the help of this crew. What do we got? Jump on more platforms. We're only on Facebook and Instagram at the moment. So I remember Stan telling me a couple of years ago, right, this TikTok thing is gonna take off. You need to get on it. And I was like, yeah, okay, but definitely gonna jump on there. We're on LinkedIn, but just need to boost the presence there. We would like a good local social presence as well as a physical presence, because we are a gym and we don't offer international, so we want a good presence in Auckland. And it's just, I guess, the brand awareness. We're not just a gym who offers what every other gym offers. Safety is priority for us massively, and we can back that up with the data. And it only take people a couple of sessions with us to realize the difference. Community is massive, and I guess it's just a matter of getting that message, getting that kaupapa across the line via social media, via marketing, and just letting people know about it. So that's the part we need help with. I haven't, maybe a rebrand, because we took the logo and everything is based off one of my old sponsors, and it's a little bit 90s, 2000s. It's a skull and a star and wings, something out of a Fatal Fury Street Fighter game. So maybe a bit of rebranding.
What's the deal with the Fort Knox gym?
So it's a big warehouse,
Right.
and so Fort Knox is the space.
Right, okay.
The businesses, so I got my business there, and the other business in the space is Knoxfit. And we've been trying to think about a collab somehow to offer the clients the combat sports as well as the CrossFit. And so that's what we're doing at the moment.
So it seems to me like your audience is really physical, right? As in, there's no point talking to people in Hamilton because they're not going to come to your gym, right? You want people to come through the door as your objective.
Yes.
So therefore, for me, it seems like you want to be hyper local. Like you can do more than just social to be local.
Yeah.
Because we target in a group, we'll target an area where you can either drive in 15 minutes or walk. I reckon that's pretty tight.
It's pretty tight.
And that gives us a great opportunity to do interesting stuff around that area.
Yeah. How far do people come from now?
South,
Yeah, should we go?
20, half an hour.
So there's your radius of.
Yeah.
And if you want to, that gives us that's a great opportunity because you just go, actually, we can really double down on this radius here, and the gym's in the middle, and we can do other things outside of just. You can target socially and then online, but you can also do other stuff, I think.
And also Greyland's quite a densely populated suburb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's you could probably do some interesting things outside and just do stuff.
Yeah, we'll
Yes, talk to them about that.
they got the Greyland markets. We hit them up to see if we could come and do a little stall or thing like that. We'll probably do a few more things like that and then film it and create some content.
Yeah, and the safety thing is again that safety thing's awesome because that is it's a really my son's started mixed martial arts and that's my biggest concern as a parent, and that'd be all the biggest concerns of the parent. It's like he wants to do it, he wants to go to a fight, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Which is I want to support him, but I also want to make sure that he's safe because shit can happen. So yeah, you've got just quite a clear little area of target there.
Yeah, big time.
From a growth perspective, what happens if 100 members wanted to sign up tomorrow?
Yep. Yeah, the back end needs a little bit of work.
Yeah.
I've always gone off with demands. I'll add the classes to suit. So we do have a bit of space to add more classes, and I got a little bit of work on the back end just to chuck a few more classes in, and then let's say the max cap for each class is about 30. So if 40 people turn up, well, I'd probably know in advance, and then I'd create 5:30 p.m., 6:30 p.m, and 7:30 p.m. just to cater for that.
So that you can do it.
So at the moment, like, if 40 people want to show up, they just show up because there's no booking system
Not at the
to
moment.
book in. So that will be the concern. Is
That will
that
be the concern.
100 people could show up,
Yeah.
and then you're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So there's So it's like, don't go viral overnight because you might be fucked. Okay. Cool. And that's a concern.
Is this a Squarespace, right? Your website?
Yes.
Squarespace? Yeah. So you can put a booking thing on.
Yeah. You can put a
Yes.
booking
You
thing
can
in.
plug a booking thing on the back.
Yeah. It's real simple.
They're pretty simple to do.
Cool.
Is it good? Your site is actually pretty bang on. It tells you what you do.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's got. Well, it's just
Such
that.
shit logo.
It's that. No,
No, I'm joking. It's not.
But it does look like it does reek of 13-year-old boys' bedroom.
Yeah.
Which is possibly one of your audiences. But your narrative's great. Like, here, hello. Here's what we do. Get in touch. Like, that's a good website.
Cool. All right. Anyone had any epiphanies while they've gone through? Anything you want to add into it in terms of goals that you've heard that you're like, I want that too, before we move on? No. Cool. Awesome.
Can I?
Yeah.
With a little 5-minute